And everybody else will be coming in. Congratulations to Gavin Isley, who is having himself a great start to the season. It looks like he's going to follow the Tour Series as well. Which parts of it, I'm not sure. I think he's following the Northern, and I think he's following the Central Division too. We have him here at Can-Am, and it's great to have him here as a regular campaigner. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, it's the Mental Health Association of Jefferson County Sundance Leisure Thundercar feature go. And here's the way they're going to go. On the pole, row number 1 on the inside will go the 73T of Timothy Greenfield. Tim out of Dexter. On the outside will go the 22 of Tony Frezzo. Tony out of Evans Mills. Row number 2 on the inside will go the 19 of Collin Bauter out of Lafargeville. And on the outside, the 22J of Jared Gilson. Row number 3 on the inside will go the second generation driver, the 111J of Anthony St. Mary Jr. Anthony out of Redwood. And on the outside, out of Evans Mills, New York, the 17 of Michael Greenfield. Fourth row on the inside, the 21B of Corey Valade out of Rome, New York. And on the outside, the 60R of Ron White. The next row on the inside will go the 3R of Dave Rasmussen out of Evans Mills, New York. And on the outside, the number 60 of Francis White. The next row on the inside will go the 94 of O.J. White out of Watertown. And on the outside, the 28 of Colby Hibbard out of Dexter. The next row on the inside will go the 25 of Tyler Collette, Tyler out of Watertown. And in that final starting spot, also out of Rome, New York, scheduled to go the 1J of Justin Polk. Justin out of Rome. That is your starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen, for your Mental Health Association of Jefferson County Sundance Leisure Thundercar feature go here at Can-Am. And on behalf of the staff and management here at Can-Am, we want to thank you all for coming out here tonight to join us for a great evening of racing and to call the Thundercar feature go. Once again, here's Tim Balls. Tim?
Thank you very much, Jamie. I have missed that throw from you to me for a long time.
Telling me the truth, I hope.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't lie to an old guy, would you?
Never. You're not old.
No, I'm just a young kid, I guess. Compared to my grandfather, who lived to be just shy of his 103rd birthday.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we still have one more race left after this.
Oh, yeah.
Mechanics race.
We got that mechanics race coming up, and
right.
I remember one year in that mechanics race.
Yes.
That everybody remembers the number 11 that Doug Carlisle drove here.
That's right.
And had John Daum get in it. We know what John did when he got behind the wheel of the 17 modified.
Right.
And he took that number 11 out there and just absolutely fantastic. And do you know, John did a lot of drag racing. He really didn't do any circle track racing.
That's true. He really was.
So that right there, I believe, was his first time out in a modified stock car.
Well, looking through all the research that we've done here, and they talked about it, Michelle talked about it earlier in the night, all the all-time win list and everything else. In my findings, the first ever documented mechanics race was held here July 26, 1975. A man by the name of Dean Bernosh went to Victory Lane.
I knew you would come up with this. If you're betting on this, go to the $100 window and bet that this man will find this, because you'll win big time.
Hey, you know, that was some of the special event races they had here in '95. Demolition Derby, Powder Puff, the hot dog race.
The hot dog race was always a good one.
I heard some stories about that hot dog race.
Yeah, there's a couple of people got sick in that one. I know that.
Oh, no.
Borrowed race cars, getting sick in a borrowed race car, that's not good to begin with.
That's never a good thing to have happen.
You know who may call me out on that deal? Because I know he does watch us from time to time. It's Doug's brother, Donnie Carlisle. Who
oh, yes.
One of the top wrenches on that team, and he from time to time does stuff with Jessica Power. But
Right.
I don't know. Donnie might say, yeah, I think he's right about that.
I think so, yeah.
I hope he does anyway.
There's some great things they did back then.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Fantastic.
There it is right there. July 26th.
Linda Simpson. This right here, Linda Simpson.
And a powder puff.
I believe, I don't know, Bobby Thurston might know for sure, but was that Wild Bill Simpson's wife? Yeah. And she was good. Let me tell you. She could have got out there with those late model drivers back then and won.
In the powder puff back then, they didn't hold back. They were strong contenders, and they rivaled some of the actual drivers. But right now, we are going to go 15 laps in the Sundance Leisure Thundercars. Green lights are on. Timothy Greenfield on the point, and Tony Frezzo alongside, and we're underway. And they working into turn number 1 and 2. Tony Frezzo with the advantage. Timothy Greenfield back to second. Last week's winner, Mike Greenfield, now into third. The theme tonight apparently is 3 wide, and they're doing that down into turn number 3 and 4 as Justin Pope moves up a bunch of spots. David Rasmussen up on the outside lane. The 3R ride going towards the front in a hurry as a complete lap number 1. And this one is Tony Frezzo in control. Bringing it into turn number 1 and 2. Tony Frezzo with a clear-cut advantage down the back straightaway as the 17 of Michael Greenfield up to second. And boy, I'll tell you, they are scrambling through turn 3 and 4, and they are moving out there as they click off lap number 2. Tony Frezzo's got about the best spot that everybody wants to have. He's got the number 1 position as they go into turn number 1 and 2 right now. Mike Greenfield right around where he was a week ago, holding on to position number 2, just waiting for the opportunity. You don't want to wait too long because the heavy hitters are starting to come towards the front right now. Francis White, former track champion here down in the inside lane, gets alongside of David Rasmussen, trying to pick up the 3 spot. Rasmussen's going to fight him off for now as they go to turn number 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway once again. Tony Frezzo trying to get back to victory lane. Got here last year. Oh, and we got Michael Greenfield on fire. A big ball of fire over there. It put itself out, but there is still a little bit of flame underneath the hood. Red flag on the racetrack. Red flag is out. Everybody coming to a complete stop. Safety crews immediately on the scene. Mike Greenfield out of the car over there in corner number 3 and 4. Letting everybody know where the fire is. It's right there, Jamie. And boy, did he ever get that stopped in a hurry.
That could be a couple of things right there. Sometimes when you blow an engine like that, it gets out on the outside part of the motor and the flames will erupt, or an oil line, and that definitely will cause a fire.
It gets on that exhaust and then immediately it ignites. And boy, the safety team did such a great job getting on that right away.
Yeah, they did. And it's also great that Mike got out of the car as quickly as he did.
Absolutely. He was running really strong, too, up in that second spot, just kind of biding his time, waiting for something to happen. And unfortunately, he was the cause of this red flag, but ended a near 4-year winless drought 1 week ago, picking up his second career Can-Am win.
I have a feeling that probably was a motor letting go and the oil getting out all over the...
I have a feeling, too. And there you see the oil right there on our screen. It's... trails in from about the entrance of turn number 3 right straight to the outside of 3 and 4.
Yeah. That's a big hole in the side of the block, and when the oil emptied out of there, boy, it all over the block and
oh my goodness,
ignited. Not good.
Exactly. Well,
seen a couple of fires in my time. We've seen some horrendous things happen, and not only just here at this racetrack, but in the past. I still say that accident of Rolling Wheels that one year that put Jackie Wilson right out of racing entirely was one of the worst ones I saw. They had a tow truck hook onto the front of the car while it was still on fire, take it over to the infield, and tried to back it into where they got the water for the racetrack on the infield.
Goodness.
They had to call the Elbridge Fire Department to come in and help put that out. That was how bad that fire was.
Good golly.
Involved 6 cars, 2 of them flipped on the front stretch. And what happened on that start was weird. They threw the green flag and the yellow light stayed out. So you got half the cars in the front backing up and the rest of them coming on.
Oh, man.
It was awful. Bobby and I both witnessed that, and it was terrible.
Yeah, there's just, sometimes in this sport, there's just no way to to get around something like that, you know.
Well, he's getting pushed in, so.
Looking for, we were talking about, missed that one. I had it documented here. So I saw the article about it.
I have faith in you that you will find this.
Here it is, right here. Yep, the one here with Kurt Bronson.
That was an awful, awful accident. Right
Yeah,
that shook a lot of drivers. And he had a heat races. I remember somebody ran into the back end of him and it just ignited the whole fuel system. They hit the fuel cell on that car and it just literally exploded.
Lou Miller and Gary Reddick, they did everything they could that night to try to get it. They actually reached right in there, right into the car while it was on fire and pulled him out, but it was a tough day for everybody.
1978 that happened.
Yep.
Dave Bartlett running his car, he caught on fire here on the front stretch once too.
Yep.
I remember that.
Dave's here tonight. He was down in Victory Lane.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, big celebration.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure. But you know, this is one of the things in racing that does happen. We try to put it out of our minds entirely.
Totally.
We're more interested in going fast and having it be exciting.
That's exactly it.
That right there is one thing that nobody wants to see.
And I think these days, especially with the fire suppression systems that these cars have now, especially in the modified and sportsman side of things, I knew when they first came out with that system, a lot of drivers are, I don't really need that. Then after seeing some of the things that were happening, they're going, I'm really glad that we had that, because it instantly puts the fire out. Of a big fire, it'll put it out within a second.
Yes,
at least.
One of the things we've seen over the years, like I know that since I got into it, is how much safety has changed, how much better the cars are built.
That's right.
If you go back and take a look at some of those cars from the 1960s and 1970s, you wonder how half of them survived these flips that they took back then that looked more violent than they do now.
Exactly. I had a conversation with Tommy Trainer. You know Tommy very well.
Oh, absolutely.
And
283.
Absolutely. Well, he ran the old Mid-State Antique Car Club, and he says we ran a couple of events on the mile, which Tommy won, by the way. Tommy says, I look back at those races, even in the 90s, he says, what in the world were we thinking going out there in those cars?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
No. We
Not
saw
happening.
Some things back then. We saw some that used beer kegs as fuel cells. I remember that. Oh, yeah. These things actually happened. And there are some of you older fellas out there are watching, and I can just hear them sitting in their living room, turning around to people that are in the living room. That is true, what he just told you.
That's true, yep. I heard a story one time, Will Cagle was getting honored for something, the late Will Cagle, and him and Buzzy Rudeman were real tight, close friends, right? He says...
Both being from Florida.
Yep, that's true. He says, one night, I went up to go behind past Will in the feature, and he says this water kept squirting out of the back of his car. Every time I get out on the back bumper, the water would come flying out of the back of the car, and he says, boy, it hit that water, and I'd slide everywhere, and
James Bond car.
Couldn't beat him. He says, finally, after about 3 weeks went by, and he says to his dad, he gets out of the car, he goes, Dad, every time I get up behind that Will Cagle, water comes out of the back of his car. So sent my dad down there to check it out. Sure enough, he looks inside Will's car, and Will's got a little water tank right there next to his seat. Every time Buzzy got up behind him, he'd pump the pump, and the water would shoot out the back of the thing. He said he got me every time.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Well, Buzzy loves the North Country racing. Of course, he was here for quite some time.
Yes, he was.
He's probably sitting down in Florida there, him and David, and they're listening to this.
Right.
And David probably looked over at him and said, did that really happen?
He probably, yeah. I heard it right from him. Buzzy, of course, won pretty much at every racetrack up here in the north.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, he
won with you at Frogtown a couple of times, too. And
yeah, you know what? After running all those years, like at Orange County and on the Pennsylvania circuit, New Jersey, he said that he had his most fun coming here to Can-Am, running at Frogtown, which is now Mohawk, and running in the North Country and over to Brockville.
Yeah.
He said he had the most fun running up here in the North Country.
Got a track championship at Cornwall in '95 in a big block, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. He was really good up here. And still winning races, by the way, at age 84,
It
85.
sure is. Isn't that incredible?
It's amazing.
Absolutely wonderful. God bless him.
They asked the son David. He says, how come you can't keep up with the old man? And he says, that's because I give him all the good pieces. Oh yeah.
Some great things happened back in those days, and some incredible races at Watertown Speedway. Eddie O'Sullivan winning that, which they say was the greatest race of all time there. When they came across the line, it was Eddie O'Sullivan finished first, and I believe Neil Tooley and Shorty Robinson and Bud Hinman, Robinson and Tooley were right on the back bumper when they crossed the line, the two of them together, and Hinman right in behind them. It was just an unbelievable finish, and they say that was the greatest finish of all time.
We had one here a couple of years.
O'Sullivan crashed into the first turn.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me either.
All four of them had it right on the floor.
I bet. We're going to give up. We had a good one here in a Dirt Car Sportsman Series race back in 2019. Myself and Jeff Barrett stood here and called it. Connor Cleveland, Kevin Root, and the late Kyle Inman. 3 wide coming into turn 3 and 4. And Kevin Root, by about a whisker, was declared the winner. And
just incredible.
If Connor Cleveland, he no longer races anymore, and Kyle Inman, we unfortunately lost him a few years ago, but they all agreed that was probably the best race. Even the 2 drivers that didn't win were like, that's, if you didn't like that, I don't know what what you're doing, but
you're not a race fan if you didn't like that.
Exactly.
But I've seen some incredible races in my lifetime.
Absolutely.
And I thank the guy next to me here for taking me and my grandfather in 1967 and starting me off, because it has been a thrill a minute, because they took me that one week and I wanted to go every week after
Absolutely.
that. And that's something that many fans who are just starting out in this, if you have never been and you're just watching it on TV, there's nothing like being here.
It's awesome. It really is. And my dad and my mom, we helped the Isley family run the bike track out back here. That's how we got our start in the whole thing. And it's Lance Willicks actually raced on the bike track back here. It's Billy Jr., Becky, and all of us were all involved with it.
Stay yellow, driver. Stay yellow. Stay yellow. Stay yellow.
Staying yellow.
Yellow. Yeah, I have it. Push the truck up.
Well, we're going to try it again. 3 laps are complete. 12 more to go. Tony Frezzo trying to hold on and win this one. Green light's back on and we're underway. And once again, the 22 of Tony Frezzo out in front of the field as David Rasmussen, Francis White battling for second and third as they go down into turn number 3 and 4 and back down to the line. Francis White swings it way wide, trying to find the way by Rasmussen on the bottom as they click off lap number 4 of this 15-lap contest. And Frezzo still with the race lead, but for how much longer, that's the question, because Francis White and David Rasmussen have got some bad, fast race cars as Ron White in the number 60 bringing his ride back out, trying to get the car back into gear as they come down across the line. Lap number 5 goes up on the leaderboard. Once again, a good battle here going on for the 2 spot. 15 laps is the issue. 3 more to the halfway point. Frezzo gets by the traffic, no problem there. David Rasmussen, he'll find a way by as well. Everybody should be able to get on through as we work in lap number 6 of this 15-lap event. Tony Frezzo trying to put it in the record books as a winner once again as they click off lap number 6. Rasmussen, Francis White, That is your top three, as Justin Pope in the other number 60. 260s out there. I believe that is Justin Pope right there in the 60T, the black car. Francis is actually in the white number 60. Right now, Tony Frezzo still in command of it in his own number 22. David Rasmussen has done everything possible to hold off Francis White for the time being. And Francis is going to dig down low. Corey Valade coming up late in the going here as they work in lap number 7. We're coming up to the halfway point. 8 down, 7 to go. And Tony Frezzo trying to put it in victory lane, but Francis White is on the charge right now.
The man out of Evans Mills has got a commanding lead out there. White is up to the number 2 spot. Rasmussen still sits back there in 3rd. That is your top 3. The battle for 4th here as Anthony St. Mary up on the inside, trying to take away that number 4 spot out there as they come around. And look out, we got cars all over the place in turn 4. And look out, right here in front. The 3R of Rasmussen right here in front of the grandstand as the battle for 3rd and 4th out there. Corey Valade, he really took advantage of that when that all happened.
He did. He got through it. David Rasmussen's got a flat right rear tire.
And a tough break for him. He was running very well in this race.
He really was. Francis White, I don't know how he saved that thing.
I don't know how Corey Valade got through that. He really took advantage of things. When they got crossed up, he stepped on the gas and said, I'm going to get away from this.
I think it could be Corey Valade's year to win this track championship because he's had everything, unlike a couple of weeks ago, he's had everything go his way this season.
We don't want to jinx him by saying anything.
Right.
But
taking a look at our replay up here.
Yeah, this, as you go down the backstretch, things, St. Mary and Valade having a really good joust over there for that spot. They got into the turn, and the two of them catching right up on a car in front of them, and that got sideways, and then here we go. What a move by Valade to get around that mess. And it looks like Rasmussen's tire went down, and that's probably what happened when he came off before. That tire went down and got him all crossed up. And
that's exactly what it was right there.
Everybody scattered.
For sure. 25, Tyler Collette. Problems over there on the backstretch. Collette family, well known in this region, especially here at Can-Am. Tim Collette, going back to the Pierstock days, competed here.
Yeah, Tim also participated at Evans Mills Speedway.
Yep.
And I think the car to watch right now as we, gets restarted here. This is going to be an interesting start. Don't leave out Anthony St. Mary right here. He has been progressively working his way to the front. And a caution right here really helped him. So this should be a very interesting start.
Well, he came from out of nowhere a couple of weeks ago to pick up the feature win. He got by Justin Pope and Corey Valade. And Francis White looks like he may be headed to pit road.
Well, the drama continues here. He was making a good run out there, and Francis gone to the pits. And that kind of changes the complexion of things right here. So, it's like I said, the drama continues, Tim.
Drama unfolds. Got some oil down there on the front straightaway. They're all trying to get through. So we'll take a moment to get that cleaned up. We got 6 laps left to go, but like a normal Friday night heat race for these drivers.
Yeah, Tony Frezzo has been really doing well in that car. He did a little traveling here. He even went out west to a race to compete with the 4 cylinders.
Yeah, there's a lot of big money races out that way, and the Sport Compact Dirt Racing Association is what it is.
Yes.
And a lot of big paying events that they have, and Justin Pope goes to a lot of them. Francis White's gone to a few of them.
Yeah, Tony's crew told...
You better pack a lunch when you go to those races, though, yeah.
Yeah, 32 cars starting one of those things.
Yeah.
You know, it's very exciting.
Lunch, dinner, and breakfast, too. Why not throw them all together?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Why not? Well, ladies and gentlemen, how many think that Tony Frezzo is going to hang on and win this one in that 22? How many think Corey Valade is going to get up in there and take that spot away from him? How many think Anthony St. Mary is going to get by them both? Well, we'll soon find out.
I missed that classic call from you.
Well, I didn't bring it back by request, but
Hey,
you have to keep the fans engaged.
you do.
It's not like they're already not engaged or something. I'm not saying that.
With the excitement going on tonight, I don't know how you could not be engaged.
This is going to be exciting right here.
Absolutely.
I can see something really good happening here.
Well, you got the final 6 laps, my friend.
I do.
Yeah. And then we got a mechanics race to take care of, too.
Yeah, I have not seen a list yet on the mechanics race.
Right over there to your right.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
I'm looking forward to that.
22, you are the leader.
That's going to be fun.
It is.
9 laps complete. 9 complete.
Mike Leclerc is going to get in a car and run in this race, too. That interesting. Okay. Tony Frezzo is your leader, but he has got some quick company that is surrounding him. So we'll soon find out who's going to take this one. Corey Valade right alongside Frezzo. All right, here they come off that number 3 and 4 turn. Frezzo gets a little bit of an edge. Green flag is out. Here's Valade on the outside. And they get to that number 1 turn, and Frezzo is able to hang on to it as Valade was right there knocking on the door in the outside part of the racetrack. Frezzo out in front. 9 complete, coming around to complete lap number 10, and Tony still has the lead out there. Here's another chance for Valade down on the inside. He can't quite get there as he holds on to second. St. Mary is back there in 3rd. Collin Bauter still sits there in the number 4 spot, but the battle is on in front. Valade has tried everything he can to get by Tony Frezzo, and Tony says, "You're not doing it." And coming around to complete lap number 11, and it is still Frezzo the leader. Valade runs there in the number 2 spot. St. Mary back there 3rd, and Anthony is coming along, and he is closing in on the top 2. They come together, Corey Valade and the 111 of St. Mary come together. 3 of them across the track for the lead. And it is coming down to what I thought it would be. 12 complete. We have 3 cars, and again 3 of them across the track. Going down the backstretch now. It is still Frezzo, and he can feel the heat from Valade and St. Mary. Around they come. And St. Mary ducking to the inside, trying to take over the number 2 spot, and he can't quite do it, as Valade stays right there. The 2 of them battling back and forth for second, and Frezzo's trying to walk away with 2 laps to go. White flag will be out this time along, and St. Mary and Valade, they're having quite a race out there between the 2 of them. And down the front stretch they come, and Frezzo, the back end of his car, is hanging right off with a white flag waving. And he will try to bring this home. He now has lengthened his lead by about 6 car lengths, while Valade and St. Mary continue to go at it for that 2nd and 3rd spot. Off the turn they come, and car slowing on the front stretch, and Frezzo will win it. Valade will hold on for 2nd. St. Mary will finish in 3rd. White will finish in 4th. And the 19 of Collin Bauter will get the number 5 spot. And Tim, all I can say there is, wow.
You got that right.